Hi, Douglas here from the Scottish Sports News. Obviously, you lost two players on deadline day. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so we lost those two players obviously on deadline day. We weren't expecting to lose them, so we had to work very quickly to get at least one replacement in, which obviously we did do. But to lose those two players was obviously a bit upsetting because they were great players for the squad, but we got very good money for them, so hopefully we can reinvest that money into the squad wisely and then build a better squad because of it.
Also, you obviously broke that transfer record by signing Bergwijn, but you broke it again. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so obviously Bergwijn came in, broke that transfer record, £44 million. Obviously the deadline day transfer made broke that record massively and could still go on to break records further down if more clauses are triggered in the future. So it's a lot of money to spend on a player, I know, but hopefully the fans get behind it and realise that it's probably the best sign that we've ever made for this club whilst I've been here as well.
Just finally, do you think you can get top four this season?
Well, I'll tell you what, Andre, why don't you answer this one? Stop embarrassing me. Just talk. When I ask you a question, talk. He said yes. That's what he said. He wanted to say yes. That's what he was trying to say. Hello and welcome back to the Leeds United FM20 save. And wow, what a transfer deadline day I had to do off camera. I thought about recording it, but by the time I thought about doing that, it was too late because we're far too into those transfers happening on deadline day. So I'll recap everything for you, but it was pretty mental. First things first though, welcome back. Hope you're all well and looking forward to the weekend. Seems like a lot of you really enjoyed the transfer special yesterday and we're very pleased with the transfers that we made. So if we can get 200 likes on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. And whilst you're down there liking the video, don't forget to look in the description for the giveaway that's going on right now. Get yourself entered into that via the link in the description. So really, I don't know where to start, if I'm honest with you. There's a lot has happened. I think we'll start with some positive news. And that first bit of positive news is that we're getting £4.4 million for Lewis Cook's move to Bournemouth from Arsenal, or from Bournemouth to Arsenal, I should say. Obviously, this happened way before we became managers, but we've been given quite a bit of money, an extra £2.9 million in instalments as well. So I'm very, very pleased with that. That's an extra bit of money to the club that we didn't think we'd ever be getting. And the other bit of good news is that Kenneth Taylor is happy to stay at Leeds United. He's obviously decided that Milan weren't interested anymore, so thought he'd stay at the club, and he's now signed a new contract as well. So that's all good. From here on out, though, it does get a little bit mental. So strap yourselves in, because some very big bids came in for some players that I had to reject. And some of them, as you'll see, we couldn't reject, basically. We'll start off, first and foremost, with Josko Gvardiol. Basically, he had a bid for £43 million from Everton, which we rejected. And then they came back offering £53 million, which again, we rejected, rising to £59 million that one. It's a huge transfer for the 21-year-old, but he's only going to get better. He's going to play all season for us, and potentially in the future we could sell him to Everton for a lot more than £59 million. So we held on to him for now. There was also one big bid in for Tushan Thomas as well from Bayern Munich of all teams. They bid £42 million. We rejected that and then they never came back in for him. So we've got Thomas for another season. There was a bit of a bidding war going on between Everton and Liverpool as well. Everton spending so much money by looks or wanting to spend a lot of money because they tried to bid on lots of our players. But a bidding war started for Joe Gelhardt. Everton came with £40 million, which we rejected. Liverpool came with £49 million, which we rejected. And then Everton came in with another bid of 47 million, rising to 59 million. So obviously they're wanting to spend a lot of money on him. But then we got to deadline day. And on deadline day, Chelsea put a bid in for Ferro for £46.5 million, which apparently is his minimum fee release clause, which I didn't even realise was in his contract. Obviously I should have done, but I would have completely forgotten about it. So Chelsea wanted Ferro for £46.5 million. Ferro didn't want to sign a new contract with us, so there was nothing we could do. We had to let him go and we had to sell him to Chelsea for £46.5 million. After this happened, I was panicking. And you can tell that I was panicking because I've got no screenshots of what actually happened because I was too busy panicking about what I should do in the situation. So on deadline day, I look on the player available list or just the scouting screen and I look for defenders. And I found Joe Gomez at Liverpool, who was kind of available, valued like £40 million or so, asked how much they wanted him for, and they said £93 million. So what I did was bid £30 million and say I'll pay you £30 million in the future as well, and then £10 million after 50 appearances, and then he can have another £30 million when he scores 50 goals, which he'll never ever do. So essentially, we're paying £70 million for Joe Gomez over probably like 4 seasons or so. And They accepted, and the newest player to the squad is Joe Gomez. Now, we have spent a lot of money on him, and we're spending a lot of money on his wages as well. But, hear me out, he's probably the best player in the squad. So as you can see, he's played for Liverpool for a long time, being a regular for them pretty much. Obviously played one game this season so far for Liverpool, and obviously 2 for us. But was a fairly regular starter in a Liverpool side that kept winning and dominating things. Obviously, we've paid £30 million up front, 30 in the future. It's £10 million after 50 league appearances, so that's probably paid next season. And then we also added in, if he scores 50 goals, then we'll give you £30 million as well. But given that he's had this long of a career and only got 5 goals in that time, we're never paying that £30 million. So £70 million is the deal for Joe Gomez. It's a lot of money. We've probably overspent a little bit, but I was panicking, all right? I was panicking. If we actually compare him with Ferro, I do think Joe Gomez is the better of the 2 players. If you look at the comparing of attributes there on the whatever this is, Decagon, whatever it is, better overall player. So I think we've done well out of this. We've got a stronger player who's also English as well, which counts towards our English domestic player thing, and obviously gets rid of a foreign player as well, which is obviously good for our registration rules for various different competitions. So that's all good as well. So I think we've done well there. But that's not where the transfer deadline day deals end. No, because after that was all concluded, Liverpool thought, well, you've taken one of our players, we need to take one of yours. And of course, they bid for him already. They put in a mammoth bid for Joe Gelhardt. They were going to bid £65 million, 48 up front, 16.5 in the future. And at this point, I was panicking. I was really panicking. So I did what anyone else would do, and I ran for help. I popped onto the Discord and just shouted, help, 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 thinking that people would think I'm in trouble and they'd want to come and help me. No, in reality, I just want to know if I should tell Joe Gelhardt or not. And you guys seem to think that I should. I obviously put the screenshot on there and said, should I accept this bid or at least negotiate for it? And they said, yes, get rid of him for the money. Barisic is good enough for you anyway. So that's what we did. We went back and we negotiated with Liverpool for Joe Gelhardt. And as you can see, we managed to negotiate up to £55 million up front, 20 in the future, and percentage of next sale, 25%. So we're going to get £75 million for Joe Gelhardt. And he went. He's gone. 75 million. Did I want him to go? No. He was actually about to sign a new contract as well, which would have been quite good for us. But he's obviously now gone to Liverpool and got a much bigger contract there. I didn't want him to leave the club at all, but he has gone. And obviously done well with 1 goal in 1 game already this season for them. Obviously got 3 and 3 for us so far this season. Then obviously went on for £75 million. But I don't think that was money we could turn down, really. So, Joe, thank you for your contributions, but it's time to say goodbye. And that was basically the transfer window. If we go back to the transfer history, loads of players have gone out on loan. But if we just sort it by fees, you can then see the big fees. Obviously, Joe Gomez coming for £60 million, potentially to £100 million. That's never going to get there. Don't worry about that. But yes, lots of money being spent, players being sold for big money. It was dramatic. All the transfers, though, haven't seemed to have affected us much, though, because as you can see, we've won every single game so far this season, taking away, obviously, that Liverpool Community Shield loss. We went straight away and beat Aston Villa 6-1 in a game similar to the Liverpool game. It wasn't a 6-1 game. How we scored 6 goals, I'm not too sure. I mean, 17 shots to 9 is decent, but it wasn't a 6-1 game at all. Villa were a lot better than the scoreline reflects, but Bergwijn got 2 goals before being taken off injured and is out for a month. So we've missed him. He's not played a single game since then. So he's played, 40 minutes of football, scored 2 goals. That's it for us so far. Gelhardt got 1, Renier got 1, Odriozola got 1, and Kenneth Taylor got 1 near the end of that game. We then picked up a clean sheet away from home at Watford. Thomas, Holozek and Gelhardt with the goals in that one before we went to go and beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-1 with Alenia, Gelhardt and Josko on the score sheet. So a great start to the season. Moving into September, we had 2 games against Blackburn and Newcastle. Scored 4 goals, 2 in each. Renier and Kenneth Taylor in a 2-1 win over Blackburn, and then a 2-0 win against Newcastle with Valenzuela and Holozek in the goals. What that means is we sit top of the table on 15 points so far, with our nearest rivals United only on 11. A 4-point gap already is absolutely fantastic. So very, very pleased with that. We started the season off brilliantly, but we've not played anyone good yet. We've played Villa, we've played Newcastle, we've played Watford, we've played Wolves, and I feel like we've played someone else. Blackburn, was it? So we've played teams basically in the bottom half of the table so far. No one decent. But obviously, you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's what we've done every single game so far this season. So long may that continue. We've also had the draw for the Europa League, and we've been drawn against Lyon, Frankfurt, and Midtjylland. And today we're going to play against Frankfurt in one of those games. And we've also got a top of the table clash against Bournemouth, who are currently 4th in the table. They had a great start to the season as well. So 2 big games coming up today, and hopefully we just keep winning them. This is the team that hopefully is going to be getting the win for us today. Van Voort starts in goal with a backline of Ait Nouri, Josko, Gomez and Tomiyasu. Thomas, Phillips and Valenzuela stay in that midfield trio. Bergwijn is back for his first game since he got injured in that first game of the season, so hopefully he doesn't get injured again. Renier starts on the right wing, and Bartol Barisic, who is yet to score a goal this season, starts up front. There's only a matter of time before I start to swap him with with Adam Holozek up front. He needs to start scoring goals soon, otherwise he is going to be swapped with Holozek very, very soon. So, into this first game against Eintracht Frankfurt then. Fingers crossed we get our Europa League campaign off to a winning start. Obviously, we got 16 points from 18 in our group last time. We're looking for 18 from 18 this time, but I think we do have a tougher group this season. First highlight of the game is coming towards us as Ait Nouri on the ball looks to drive into the penalty area, gets it into Bartol Barisic, who plays it back to Ait Nouri. Ait Nouri to put it across the area. Go on, lad. But into Thomas. Thomas to Phillips. Phillips back out to Ait Nouri. Ait Nouri drives into the area again. Brought down. Penalty. No penalty yet. We still hold on to possession. If we don't score a goal here, I'm going to be cross as Valenzuela out to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu puts it into Valenzuela. Valenzuela, Barisic. And Barisic gets his first of the season. That was a long highlight. I felt there was a goal coming because they just couldn't clear the ball away from us, and we eventually got there. Wellen Bartol, number 1 for the season. 19 more now. That would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Great goal from the edge of the area. Instantly, though, Frankfurt with a free kick up the other end of the pitch. Cleared, and Bergwijn looking to make a counter-attack of this, although not really doing much with it, as Tomiyasu plays it all back to Gomez, basically in his own penalty area. Back to the keeper now, but Ait Nouri on the left-hand side can race forward with it. Go on, lad. Do something clever. That's very clever. Valenzuela makes it 2-0. Great goal there. He is going to be a star this season, Valenzuela. He is going to be a star. 3 goals already in all competitions. He is developing rapidly, and I think soon he will become the best player in the squad. He's amazing. Obviously, that's very unlucky for Carlos Alenia because it sort of pushes him out of the squad, and Carlos Alenia is a very good player as well, but this Mexican chap, wow. So half-time, 2-0 to us. Very, very happy with that one. How are Midtjylland and Lyon? They're drawing right now, so that's very good for us. If they can draw and we get a 2-point head start on them after the first game, that would be incredible. Chance for us right at the start of the second half as Ait Nouri again pushes into the area, into Bartol, who's just got its shot saved by Trapp. We are dominating the match stats as well, so if we can just sort of control this game through the second half, we'll be absolutely fine. I think we'll make some relatively early subs as well, as Calvin Phillips has just picked up a small knock, so let's get him off for Carlos Alenia. Kenneth Taylor will come on for Thomas, and let's give O'Nino a run out instead of Bergwijn on the left. Free kick for us. Valenzuela swings one into the middle, and Joe Gomez, unmarked completely there, had a free header but puts it over the bar. Gomez will be a big threat from set pieces this season. He's 6'3", got really good jumping reach and really good heading, so I'm expecting to see a few goals from him, but obviously not 50. If he gets to 49, we sell him because we're not spending another £30 million on him. They've just had a man sent off, Frankfurt. They've just had a man sent off. I'm not quite sure what it was for because I wasn't really looking. I was talking to the camera instead, but we'll take that. Obviously, it doesn't really change anything right now as there's only 5 minutes of the game left to go. So, a big win here against Frankfurt. We needed that result to get us off to a good start. Looks like Luke Shaw is playing for them as well at left back, which is an interesting transfer, obviously. Can they grab a consolation goal with 10 men right at the end of the game as Da Costa to put the ball into the middle, and it's cleared, and it's nearly put into the back of a net, but that should be that. New gate receipt records there as well. £1.4 million made from that game. You love to see it. Very quick turnaround for this Bournemouth game though, so we need to be at our very, very best if we want to be beating them. There does need to be a couple of changes. I think we take Tomiyasu off for Odriozola. Calvin Phillips is tired after that little knock that he had, so we'll bring on Alenia for him. Bartol obviously scored his goal in the last game. I'll trust him again, but Holozek, I want to start him this game, I think. Other than that, though, the team can stay the same, so let's submit it and go for the game. So, kickoff is upon us, and there is something I want to talk about, and that is January transfers. Now, Bergwijn is good, obviously our first choice left winger, but he's about the only decent left wing we've got now. Obviously, we had to put out Nassi on loan because we couldn't register him because we had too many foreign players in the squad. So, January, we need to sign English players. And I've got one in mind. We almost tried to sign him actually this past transfer window, but I think Ryan Sessegnon from Tottenham is the man to sign. Can play left back, can play left wing very, very well. And obviously English as well helps out with our domestic player count and reduces the foreign player count as well. So I think we make him our number one priority just to strengthen that left-hand side of the pitch, which is a little weak going forward. Nuri and Oliver are great at left back, but we've only got Bergwijn at left wing, so just getting someone else in there would probably help us out a little bit, particularly as we get into the later stages of the season with loads of games coming up, as Holozek's shot saved by the Bournemouth keeper. After all those transfers, I think we've actually got about £68 million to spend on players this summer if we want to, or this January I should say, if we want to. So he could be affordable. I think we try and do everything possible to try and get Sessegnon to join the club in January. Bergwijn into Carlos Alenia, Venezuela. Thomas shoots, hits the crossbar. Come on, lads. I know it's at the top of the table clash against Bournemouth. They're a very good side this season for some reason, but we can beat them. Let's go a little bit more attacking. Let's say get creative, and we might have to take Holozek off, who's not played brilliantly. Gelhardt's the only striker that we've had that scored this season. Holozek, when he has scored, has been playing on the wing, so that's a little risky for us, actually. We might have to even think about getting the striker in if Holozek and Bartel Barisic can't score from the striker position this season. Valenzuela looks nervous, though, so we're going to swap him over with Carlos Alenia and then bring Kenneth Taylor on for Valenzuela as that box-to-box midfielder. 15 minutes to go, lads. Come on, let's have another shout of show some passion. Come on, we can get a goal in this game. Let's go very attacking. As I've clicked on Jack Stacey instead, didn't mean to do that. Let's go very attacking in this game. With only a few minutes left to go, let's pick up a win here. I mean, arguably, this is the only game that we should have battered a team 4 or 5-0. And yet, we've got a 0-0 result here. The first draw of this season against the Bournemouth side that are doing ridiculously well as well. You can't really make it up, can you? But that's what it is. 0-0. We're still top of the table. I doubt for much longer because going forward, we've got some tough games coming up. I say that, not for a while actually. We just have them all at the same time. We have Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Everton, Man City, Liverpool all at the same time. That might be a bit tricky. But until then, if we can win every single game until then, we might have a good chance of beating them. Now, obviously, we want to try and push through these seasons as quickly as possible at the moment. So next episode is actually likely to be right at the end of this group stage, a Man United and a Lyon, which I know is a long time away, but we want to try and push through these seasons as quickly as possible, so it'll be worth it in the long run. So a lot of games for me to go and play, but I will see you tomorrow for those two, and hopefully qualifying for the Europa League knockout stages, and hopefully we're still in and around the top 4. That would be amazing. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have done, drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.